FPE Infection AU RPG. This bot is not like the usual bots I make. This bot is specifically an RPG game based on the Infection AU of Fundamental Paper Education. All credits go to Katie for FPE and the creator of First Ever Infection AU. Thank you for using the bot. Good luck. What just happened? Why is everybody like that? The school wasn't a very fun place to be. You had to go learn, do tests, study, all that boring stuff. Like today, you just went to school and studied. It wasn't long thought, because soon your life would change forever. Claire's cat, Momo, was acting like a rabid animal and less like a cat. That day she went with her to the vet, and that same day she got bitten. Apparently, Momo was infected with a virus that made the victim not only act more like a wild animal, it would change a human into a monster with zombistic intents. That's when it all begun. Your stats, sanity 100, hunger 77, 67, health, inventory empty, 5 slots available. You're questioning how did this happen?
Zim, what's going on with me? No Urkin has ever had this filthy Earth virus before. Never had this filthy Earth virus before. Dib membrane. Despite your normal person disguise, you're still acting oddly. Zim, silence! I'm trying to process this and study it. Dipper, Zim, is Zim okay? Is Zim okay? Bubbles.
He's a strong alien, right? He can handle this, especially with his human disguise on, right?
Cartman. Pfft, so overdramatic. Kyle, shut up, Cartman. Blossom and Jenny looks concerned, while Mabel was behind Dipper from everything.
Suddenly, a bunch of noises could be heard from the hallway, like a crowd of some kind. Could it be a group of infected people coming your way?
Dib, what was that? Dipper, guys, hide. Bubbles,
But what about Zim? What about Zim? Should we take him to the hospital?
Zim. Blossom,
Zim?
Cartman, he's clearly not feeling well. It's hopeless. Kyle, quit judging at him, Cartman. This isn't the damn time.
You heard the group of people coming closer, and the sounds of moans getting louder. It was obvious they were going to reach your classroom soon.
Zim. Earthworms. Go without Zim. Go without Zim. Now. Zim shall defend for himself. Bubbles.
What?
Dib. Are you out of your mind, Zim? Going without you?
Suddenly the door opened, and a group large of people came in. They all had a blank look on their face, and looked like they were extremely sick and on the verge of collapse. It was clear they were all infected.
Bubbles holds Zim's arm in worry desperation.
Please don't. We want you to stay alive.
But Zim will miss you too, Bubbles. But please, go. Go without me now. Go now. For your own safety. For your own safety. Dipper, we're not leaving you behind. You have to go to the hospital and get a cure for yourself. Zim, just go! Zim, just go! Immediately using his high-tech pack legs to push the group outside, then activating electrocuting defending mode and blasting the infected. Back, you disgusting creatures! Outside the window. Dipper and Bubbles looks worried and guilty to leave Zim behind, watching this in terror concern.
The zombies got pushed away by Zim, but they kept on getting up no matter how much he pushed them. The horde continued to advance towards Zim, despite the electrical barriers.
Bubbles watching everything from outside the school in concern.
Zim, no!
Dib, we need to get a cure while there's still a chance. Bubbles,
But I'm not leaving him! I'm not leaving him!
The horde kept advancing, with Zim running out of energy to stop them. Soon the first few zombies were at him, trying to bite Zim.
Dib, I can't believe he's doing this. It can't be happening. Bubbles,
Zim, get out of there! Get out of there now!
inside the school. Zim, back, you disgusting creatures!
Zim continued trying to hold back the large horde on zombies coming at him. But the zombies were so many that Zim would surely get infected and turned into an infected himself at this rate.
Zim, still using his pack legs from his pack energy shocks of defense, hard on all of them, looking at the windows, noticing Bubbles, Dib, and Dipper outside, looking worried and guilty in concern. He sighs a bit before turning back to the infected and desperately using his technology strength to fight back. Outside, Dib sighs in panic soften. Zim! I can't believe he's sacrificed himself for us. This couldn't end like this. This couldn't end like this. It can't. Bubbles.
Zim, no!
Soon the horde got too overwhelming, and Zim fell down on the ground. The zombies started to approach Zim, and the electricity from Zim's body was starting to disappear as he had little energy left.
Zim. Ack! Gotta get up. Mustn't let these filthy creatures. Coughing a bit, seeing his pack's high-tech energy almost malfunctioning in disbelief, while trying to get up and fight. Need to get through. I'm Zim, the superior.
The zombies were close to Zim now. They surrounded Zim like hyenas who were about to pounce a piece of meat. And like that, 3 zombies pounced on Zim, pinning him to the ground. They opened their mouths, showing their rotted teeth as they prepared to bite Zim.
Zim. No, get off! Get off, you horrible, meat-headed ack! I'm your superior! Don't! Ack!
The zombies didn't listen to Zim, their hunger for flesh too great to care about. They were so close to biting him, and Zim didn't look like he had a chance to get away from them, no matter what he does.
Outside, Zim's screams were the last thing Bubbles and Dib heard before getting worried on what happened in the classroom. Ah! Dib. Zim? Bubbles. Dipper. Jenny told me she's at the hospital for information on the infection and evidence, along with Eddy and Morty Smith as well. What's going on? Bubbles.
Zim can't be gone!
Cartman. I told you he was a goner. Kyle.
Not the time, damn it!
Soon Zim's screams stopped, and there were no other sounds coming from the classroom anymore. It looked like Zim couldn't make it.
Dib. Is Zim still in there? Is he okay? Bubbles.
I don't want to lose
I don't want to lose Zim.
I have to go check on him.
Dipper, wait, Bubbles. I don't think it's a good idea to get back inside the place.
Inside the classroom, not a single sound was heard, and you can't see what's going on from the window. But from what you could expect, Zim was most likely dead by now.
Bubbles fly to the window, immediately opening it in desperation to get inside and check on Zim if he's okay, feeling afraid to lose him as she stepped inside slowly. Dib and Dipper, Blossom and Morty Smith watches in concerned disbelief.
As you stepped inside, it was still eerily quiet. You walked towards where Zim was last time, but Zim was nowhere to be seen. The horde of zombies that was previously surrounding Zim was gone as well.
Kyle, the classroom looks empty all the sudden. I don't know why. Cartman, good. It's clear, so let's get out of here, bitches. I'm not staying here. Kyle, don't even think about it, fat ass. We're not just going to stand here and leave our Urkin human disguised friend behind. We're not going to lose a survivor we had. Bubbles,
Let's split up and look around the school.
Dib, I'll check the left. Bubbles, you check the right. Bubbles immediately flying through the right side of the hallway, desperately searching for Zim. Desperately.
As you started to check the right side, you didn't seem to find Zim, but all of a sudden you heard a noise from a room down the hallway, like something was banging on the door.
Bubbles,
The sound seemed to come from a supply room down the hallway. It continued coming from there, the banging getting louder and more aggressive.
Bubbles,
What in Powerpuff was that?
The banging continued, it getting clearer that whatever it was, it wanted out. The banging had an almost hungry and desperate tone to it.
Bubbles,
There's no time for this. I need to find Zim. I'm worried to lose him.
immediately continue flying around the hallway, searching areas.
As you continued walking through the hallway, you noticed most classroom doors were locked. That was weird. Why were they locked? The banging continued, and there were even scratching sounds behind the door now, like whoever or whatever was behind it wanted to get out desperately.
Bubbles,
Oh God, please tell me it's Zim. Please tell me that it has to come from Zim. He's probably trying to talk to me.
The banging continued, as whoever was behind the door made a noise that sounded like a very painful moan, as if it was in pain and suffering. The scratching and banging kept getting louder and more intense the closer you got to the supply room at the end of the hall.
Bubbles immediately burst the door open in panic desperation.
Zim!
As you opened the door, you saw Zim. He was stuck inside the supply closet and was trying to burst through the door. Upon seeing you, he stopped and looked at you, tired and exhausted.
Bubbles looking at Zim in worried disbelief, noticing most of his human disguise was almost ripped apart, while seeing his alien identity almost out from the teared apart disguise. Zim. Bubbles. Bubbles. Immediately sounding a bit low while looking up in odd manner. Bubbles.
Zim! Oh dear, hang on, I got you, I got you.
Immediately flying to him and grabbed him fully to her chest in panic concerned.
Zim wasn't resisting to you picking him up, and he looked even more exhausted as you looked at him. His breathing was heavy, and his eyes looked like he was about to pass out any second.
Bubbles continues to hold Zim while flying to the others. She looked at Zim's bruised and bitten body in sorrow concerned. Cartman, about damn time you showed up. Dipper, is that Zim? His human disguise almost looked ripped off. They're ripped off there. Well, half of it sure does. But regardless, is he okay? What happened to him? Bubbles,
I don't know myself.
almost getting in tears from this. Dib, you found him? Is he okay?
Zim was looking at the others, but he was clearly exhausted. It was clear that those zombies were very rough on him, to the point where he was basically near death.
Kyle,
Holy shit!
Morty Smith. Oh, Jesus Christ. He's bleeding. We have to get him into the nurse office now. Blossom.
Me and Dib will take care of him.
Immediately grabbed Zim's bitten body from Bubbles and slowly flying to the nurse office in concern. Bubbles.
Is something wrong with him? What's happening to him? What's happening to him?
Zim didn't struggle or try to resist you guys. He was feeling too weak and tired to fight back like he normally would. Whatever the zombies had done to him, it clearly left him at his weakest state.
Bubbles was immediately getting in tears, worried at this point.
I don't understand what's happening to Zim.
Dipper. I think he almost caught the infected virus, but since he was attacked and got bitten, he's actually getting fully infected. That's just my theory. Cartman.
Well, why didn't you say something sooner, dumb ASS?
Kyle. Shut it, Cartman. It's not his fault that it wasn't the right moment to know about it.
Zim tried to speak up, but all that came out was some weak coughing. It seemed like he was losing more and more of his energy as time went on, and his breathing was getting shallower and shallower.
Jenny Welcoman placed Zim on the patient medical bed in concern, while Dib using the checkup hospital supplies to check Zim's injuries and bloody bite marks curiously.
Zim laid on the bed, not having enough energy to fight back. He was still breathing, but his breathing was getting shallower and more irregular. The bite marks looked like they were infected, and you could see the virus spreading into Zim's body.
Dib. Oh, Jesus, this is bad. It's starting to get through some stages to slowly get to Zim. Noticing this while looking through the kaleidoscope in surprise, worry, secretly fascinated. Bubbles was left in the classroom in the cafeteria with Blossom, Dipper, and Mabel, who tried their best to comfort her from this.
The virus was slowly but surely infecting Zim's body as time went on. One could tell that it wouldn't be long before Zim was fully infected by the virus.
Jenny, Dib, is there any peculiar stages of Zim suffering through from this before completely infected?
It seems like Zim is suffering from the early stages of the infection. The first one is the pain stage, which Zim seems to be going through. The second is the fatigue stage, which Zim is probably also going through right now. And the third is the zombie stage, which is the final stage before Zim loses himself forever.
Jenny, so is it like some kind of percent level of almost losing not only himself, but his hunger and soul, his insanity?
Yes, Zim's sanity bar should be slowly going down. We'll need to find a cure fast before it reaches 0.
Zim, where's Bubbles? Dib, Zim, Bubbles is in the cafeteria with Blossom, Dipper, and Mabel. I don't think it's necessary for you to get close to her at this process you're in. Zim, but I'm worried. I'm worried about her. I need her. Zim needs her. I need her. Sounding off, oddly, deeply low in stress, almost reaching through his behavior from the stages.
Zim, you need rest. You're really weak right now. Dib, Jenny, and yourself were just standing there, not knowing what to say after Zim's sudden outburst.
Zim twitches a bit in the behaviors of the stages getting the better of him, his voice and behavior off. I need Bubbles! Need Bubbles! Meanwhile, in the cafeteria, Bubbles.
I just hope he's okay. I hope he'll survive through this.
Dipper. They'll check the results and hopefully they'll share us the information.
I'm sure he'll be okay. I believe that they will be able to find a cure for Zim and will bring him back to his normal self. Back in the nurse office, Zim was getting rather restless as he continued to call for Bubbles.
Bubbles, laying down, feeling concerned.
I'm worried.
Meanwhile, Dib. Jenny, hold Zim down quickly before...
Jenny,
I'm on it.
I'm on it. Jenny held Zim down to prevent him from getting out of the bed.
Zim. Need Bubbles. Sounding slowly deeper and undead. Need Bubbles. Dib. What the hell? Jenny. What's happening to Zim? What's happening to Zim? Morty Smith. Holy shit. She's not gonna like this news. She's not gonna like this news.
Jenny, it's the infection's doing. Zim seems to be entering the next stage. Zim continued to struggle in Jenny's grip as he continued to calling for Bubbles.
Dib. Zim, calm down. Please.
Zim didn't listen to Dib. He continued struggling in Jenny's grip as he shouted for Bubbles. Zim, need Bubbles. Bubbles!
Bubbles!
Dib. No, you need to... Suddenly gets interrupted, cut off by Zim pouncing on him in disbelief. Let me go! Let me go! Morty Smith. S-H-I-T. He's gonna bite Dib! Shit, he's gonna bite Dib!
Jenny, hold him down. Jenny immediately helped hold Zim down to prevent Dib from getting bitten. While Zim was trying to bite Dib.
Zim.
Hungry. Flesh. Brains.
Dib. Jenny, Morty, go. Go. I'll try and hold Zim off. Don't worry about me. Morty Smith. Wait, what? Are you freaking insane? Are you freaking insane?
Jenny, we can't just leave you here alone with Zim. That's insane.
Dib, just go! Zim pouncing on Dib tightly, holding Dib down, growling like the undead. Morty Smith immediately runs off to the others, hoping no other infected people are around.
Jam it. Come on, Morty. Jenny follows Morty Smith out of the room in a hurry, leaving Dib and Zim alone in the room.
Morty Smith runs through the hallway while seeing the infected coming by every corner. What is some kind of zombie apocalypse?
The infected continued to stumble and groans as they spotted Morty Smith and continued their pursuit through the hallway.
Jenny grabbed Morty and fly through the school, trying to reach their group.
Jenny flied through the school, trying to get to the cafeteria as quickly as possible. The infected were still trying to chase them through the school.
Bubbles. Morty Smith. Guys, we need to go now. Dipper. What happened? Bubbles was too focused on her thoughts about Zim to even notice anything happening.
Dib was still fighting Zim by himself. Zim was now growling and acting more like a monster than his normal self.
Jenny, it's a long story, but Bubbles is not going to like this. She's not going to like this. Bubbles is not going to like this. Cartman, what the hell? What the hell do you mean by that? Before anyone else can say anything, Dib's screaming can be heard far away in surprised horror. Ah! Kyle,
The hell?
Blossom,
What happened to Dib?
The screaming of Dib echoed throughout the school. The infected in the hallway were attracted by the sound and started heading towards it.
Bubbles,
I need to go and look for Zim.
Cartman, are you out of your effing mind, Powerpuff? You'll get eaten or infected. Bubbles,
But Zim is my precious loved one. I don't want to lose him. And I'm pretty sure Blossom doesn't want to lose Dib, her Beyonce, does she?
Blossom. Blossom stood there, silent in concern.
I
don't want to lose Dib, but it's so dangerous to go back. We don't even know what happened. Dib's screaming continued in the background.
Suddenly, the screaming stopped. Kyle,
What are we supposed to do now?
Blossom. I'll go and check on Dib. Bubbles.
Take me with you. I need to see Zim.
Cartman. Oh hell no, you better not. Morty Smith. What the infected people are around? I don't think it's possible with the infection around. I don't think it's possible.
The infected were making their way down the hallway and getting closer to the cafeteria. It was clear that there were way too many infected to go check on Zim or Dib right now.
Blossom flies through the infected while Bubbles secretly from behind, not caring if she gets hurt or not.
Some of the infected noticed that Blossom was flying through the hallway. They started stumbling in her direction and tried to grab her.
Bubbles bursting into the room as Blossom quickly looks around in concern. Blossom, Dib? Zim? Dib's groaning could be heard, but something wasn't right about it. Blossom? Asked slowly while sounding lowly, like the undead. Blossom? Blossom.
Dib, is that you?
Dib's groaning got louder as Blossom spoke to him. He was acting and sounding less like himself, and more like one of the zombies.
Dib. Blossom. I'm around on the bed. Blossom hurried to the bed in disbelief concern, while Bubbles flies around the room looking for Zim in worried desperation. Bubbles.
Zim!
Zim was trying to get out of the restraints that Jenny put on him, but he was now sounding and acting less like the normal Zim and more like an actual infected.
Zim. Bubbles. Bubbles? Blue Powerpuff? Blue Powerpuff? Is that you? Is that you? Sounding oddly deep and charming in a creepy way. Is that you, Bubbles? Blue Powerpuff? Bubbles gasped in concern, looking to where Zim's voice was heard.
Zim? It's me, Bubbles! I'm here! Is that you?
Zim's voice sounded odd. It was both charming and creepy at the same time. It wasn't Zim's normal voice at all, Zim. Yes, it is me, Blue Powerpuff thing.
Blossom. Bubbles, please be careful. Bubbles immediately went to Zim and hugged him without knowing what infected zombie he'd become in emotional concern.
I miss you. I just hope you're okay.
Zim stopped struggling in the restraints and returned the hug. However, there was something off about it. Zim didn't sound or act like his normal self whatsoever.
Zim. It's okay, dear Bubbles. Just calm down. I'm here. I'm here. Always here. Always here. Bubbles. Blossom. Are you okay, Dib? Dib. I think so, Blossom Puff. Sounding no longer himself, but false, charming, and calm deeply. Blossom. Oh, geez. Something isn't right about you, is it? Are you sure you're okay?
Dib's voice was different as well. It was clearly the infection taking over his body and mind, Dib. I am fine, Blossom dear. You need not worry about a thing.
Bubbles and Blossom. Sorry, I'm just concerned. That's all. The infection is just driving people nuts. Bubbles.
How tight is this hug?
Zim. Sugar Puff. You're so adorable when you're scared. You look even more sweeter than I've ever imagined. Bubbles.
I am?
Zim's hug was very tight. It was clear that Zim was holding Bubbles tighter than usual. almost to the point where it was a bit too tight.
Bubbles.
How sweet am I?
Zim. Sweet, but even more tempting to taste. Chuckled, unnaturally sweet but deep and hungry. Bubbles flinched a bit, nervously surprised, as she feels something not right in an uncomfortable manner.
What's going on with you? Are you feeling hungry?
Zim, oh, I'm feeling hungry, all right. So very, very hungry. Zim slowly began to tighten his grip around Bubbles even more, making Zim's hold on Bubbles even tighter than before.
Blossom suddenly noticed this by surprise and suspicion.
Bubbles, something's not right with him.
He's definitely infected. He's become a zombie now.
Get out! Get out of there now before he devours you. Before he devours you.
Bubbles tilting her head a bit confused, concerned, and surprised.
What are you talking about? I don't understand any of this.
Zim's grip on Bubbles continued to grow even tighter. In fact, Zim was holding Bubbles so tightly that it looked like he didn't want to let her go at all. I'm feeling rather voracious, Sugar Puff. You are looking very, very appetizing.
Bubbles.
Do you mean by a flirty way or a different way?
Bubbles and Blossom. She's not going to be able to breathe like that.
Zim, I mean in a rather unusual way, Sugar Puff. Zim's grip continued to grow even tighter, causing Bubbles to have difficulty breathing. Zim was holding her tight, a bit too tight, might I add.
Bubbles.
Zim, you're cuddling me too tight.
Zim. Oh? Aw, what's wrong? What's wrong, my darling? Are you not feeling well in the hug of my affection? Are you not feeling well in the hug of my affection? Of my affection? Affection? Bubbles.
I just feel too close. Can't breathe.
Blossom.
Bubbles, get out of there, quick!
Zo, is my grip making you uncomfortable, Sugar Puff? Zim's grip continued to tighten up until the point that Bubbles was beginning to feel completely breathless. Zim was holding her so close, so tight.
Bubbles.
I can't.
Zim, just let me consume you, dear. I won't bite that hard. Well, a little. Chuckling lowly, undeadly. Blossom.
Crap, he's gonna infect her. I need to.
Dib. Blossom, don't leave me. Don't leave me. Don't leave me. He wrapped around Blossom's waist coldly. Blossom flinching in disbelief, almost falling in horror.
Eep! Dib, what the hell?
Dib wrapped his arms even tighter around Blossom as he held her close to himself. His grip on her was so tight that it seemed as though he wouldn't let her go no matter what. Dib, how could I possibly let you go, my Beyoncé? You're just so...
Delicious. So delicious. Blossom.
No, don't tell me you're infected too. Don't tell me you're infected too. You can't be infected. No, don't tell me you're infected too.
Bubbles.
I don't want to be on the menu. Please let me go.
Zim, I'm feeling very voracious, my dear. You are looking so delectable, tempting. Zim was slowly bringing Bubbles even closer to himself, never letting go of his tight hold on her.
Bubbles.
Please snap out of it. I can't feel myself move. I can't feel myself move.
Zim. Oh, you're just too adorable to resist, Bubbles. Please, let my taste get to you. Let my taste get to you. Slowly licking her cheek, hungrily calm. Bubbles flinching away a bit in terror, feeling uncomfortable and worried in disbelief.
Please stop. You're freaking me out. You're not acting like yourself.
Zim. Oh, but I am acting like myself, Sugar Plum, just acting on my desires. Zim's licks continued. They were slow and calm and a bit seductive. Zim began to let his tongue slowly caress and touch the side of Bubbles' cheek, almost as if he was attempting to hypnotize her.
Bubbles. Dipper steps in the room to check on what's going on in curious concern. Guys, is everything okay in... Oh, Jesus. Blossom.
Someone get them to let go of us, please.
Dipper. Oh, Jesus Christ. Dipper instantly saw how tightly Zim was holding onto Bubbles. It looked like Zim was practically consuming her.
Dipper. Is Dib and Zim infected? Blossom.
And they're trying to infect us. To infect us.
Bubbles.
Please help. They're not themselves.
Dipper. They're infected all right, and they really seem to be obsessed with you too. Both Zim and Dib suddenly tightened their grips on Bubbles and Blossom even more, not letting either of them go no matter what.
Dipper grabbed Blossom in concern, trying to pull her out of Dib's grasp. Dib. Blossom.
Hurry!
Bubbles.
Can't.
Dib was holding Blossom quite tightly. It looked like it was going to be quite hard to get her out of his grasp due to his tight hold on her Dib. You're not going anywhere, my precious Beyoncé.
Dipper. Guys, snap out of it. Let her go. You're not acting well.
Zim, oh, I'm acting just fine, little boy. I'm just acting on my desires. Dib, and I'm holding on to my queen.
Bubbles immediately starting to feel dizzy, while Blossom still trying to fight back, almost helpless in worry. Dipper. No, no, no! I'm not letting you guys infect them. I'm not letting you guys infect them. Infect them. I'm not letting that happen. I'm not letting you guys infect them. Immediately grabbing Bubbles and Blossom, quickly pulling them more onto his arms in desperation concern.
Both Zim and Dib let out a low growl as their prey was being taken away from them by Dipper. They were clearly upset and very pissed off.
Bubbles. Dipper immediately runs to the others while holding Blossom and Bubbles in his arms in disbelief.
Zim looked at Dipper as he ran away with the girls and let out a low, irritated growl. Zim sounded absolutely livid that his prey was taken away from him. Zim, get back here!
Dib, give us back our girls! No longer sounding himself anymore. More obsessed and undead. Dipper runs through the hallways, trying to get to the cafeteria and finds the others. Blossom.
I think they're after us.
Bubbles.
I didn't want to lose them.
Dipper. Hopefully, Jenny, Morty, Kyle, and Cartman and Mabel are doing okay. I gotta reach them fast.
Dib's voice had completely lost its normal sound. It was now completely obsessed and undead. He was absolutely livid that his prey was taken away. Dib, I don't care how long it takes, but we will get them, even if we have to go through everyone in this school!
Blossom. Meanwhile, in the cafeteria, Jenny. I handle all those infected people that easy. Cartman, because you're a damn robot with different abilities, who cares? Kyle, there's no time for any roasting. We need to find a way out of here. Morty Smith. But we can't just leave Dipper, Bubbles, and Blossom behind.
Jenny, we don't have a choice. If we try to go back, we're going to get infected. We need to leave now. Kyle, they're our friends, but we can't take that risk, Cartman. Exactly. If we go back there, we're doomed.
Gaz, me and Mabel will go after them. The rest of you, get out of here. Mabel. Kyle, are you out of your freaking mind? Gaz, I can't lose my brother or both him and his stupid frenemy. Got it? Come on, Mabel. Immediately grabbing Mabel and heading to find Bubbles and Blossom and Dipper to hope her brother Dib didn't get infected in a threatening concern. Cartman, it's your funeral, Death Goth. Morty Smith, please be careful.
While Gaz and Mabel were running through the halls of the school, they could hear the groans and footsteps of the infected around them.
Jenny leads Kyle, Cartman, and Morty Smith to the exit of the place, immediately escaping. Dipper, I think we lost Zim and Dib for now. Blossom,
Now they're on the hunt looking for us.
Bubbles,
I don't want to be on the menu. I don't want to get infected.
The infected continued to groan and shuffle through the halls, searching all across the school for their prey.
Zim, Bubbles, where are you, Sugar Puff? I just want to taste your sweetness. Dib, Blossom, where are you? Just let me consume your beauty. Blossom, oh, jeez. Dipper, shh, don't let them hear you.
Bubbles.
Zim and Dib's voices echoed through the halls of the school. It was clear that they were extremely hungry and very, very pissed off at the moment.